Drawing. 70% rests on your tourniquet. Everything else is easy. And this is by far the most difficult step. You can all come here to leave the sun. Now, watch this carefully. I'm going to turn my back to you. Watch what I'm doing. Now, I'm sure you had this as a negative experience in the hospital or a lab as to there were some good people who drew blood and there were some bad people who drew blood. What was the difference? The difference starts with a warm hand and the proper tourniquet application. Some people will fumble with a tourniquet and you look at this, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Not with those hands. Your hands are not grown out from the right places. I mean, the hands need to work properly. Now, so you can tie the tourniquet, and I'm just going to show you a quickie. You won't know anything from what I'm doing, but this is your first way of doing and tying the tourniquet here, okay? Now, I tied it. I expect you to do it right the first time. No. Okay? So, how do we tie the tourniquet? If you're a right-handed person, come to your patient. Right on the right, left on the left. Now, then, all you got to do is put left on the bottom, right on top. Just like this. See that? See it? So, right on top, left hand, put it on the bottom. Got it? Yes. Now, I'm going to come and I'm going to do it a little bit differently. And I'm going to grab the top with my left and bottom with my right. Notice my left hand flying in like this. It grabs the left tie and I'm grabbing it with the palm of my hand and I'm pinching it with my thumb right over here and 2 fingers underneath. Then my right hand grabs the bottom and I'm going to crisscross applesauce over my 2 fingers over here. You see the crisscross?
Oh, sorry.
See that?
Sorry, I'm making the official video.
Official video by Melanie. Okay, now, crisscross. And now, el pincho mucho. I'm pinching it with my thumb, just like this. I pinch the crisscross. And now, I lift up my fingers like this. And all I gotta do now is do a little loopity-loop right over here under my tie, and I'm done. Both ties facing upwards. Not downwards. If they were facing downwards, they're going to be in a place where I'm drawing blood. But as it is, they're automatically facing upwards. It's not a tie. There's no knot here. All I got to do to release it is pull. Done. Dum, da-dum, dum. Watch this one more time. Right on top, left on the bottom. Then, left on top, right on the bottom. Crisscross applesauce. Pinch, the tension is on, lift up, and then a little loopity-loop on the bottom, done. Now, question always arises, how tight, how loose? These 2 fingers act as a guide for you. You know the tension. Remember I had my crisscross applesauce? My fingers are underneath. They measure the tension. If it's too tight for your fingers, it's too tight for the patient. If it's too loose for your fingers, it's too loose for the patient. Another guide is, if you tighten it up so hard that their eyes are bugging out, it's too tight. Now, to release, all I got to do is pull, and it falls. This is a single-use item in the hospital. Let it drop. Don't worry about trying to handle it as it falls off. Let it drop. Pick it up later. Now, I want to show you the difference between how bad phlebotomists tie the tourniquet. And you can tell me what is the difference. What's the difference?
It's sloppy.
Well, it kind of hurts, but the other time it didn't. Why does it hurt now and it didn't hurt before?
You can see in his arm.
Look what happened. I didn't tie it too tight. I didn't take the time and trouble to not have it twisted. It's twisted. It hurts. I'm going to do the same. Look at this. Look at this. I'm going to do the same thing again. It's pain-free because it's not twisted. It's the same tension. Same tension. Phlebotomy doesn't need to be painful. These needles are so good, they slice right through the skin. There is no pain involved. The pain is mental. Everything else is baloney. Starts with this warm hand. Is my hand warm? Let me explain to you about warm hand. Warm hand, my hands are always cold. Well, let me tell you something. Ladies, especially you, there is a time in your life when your hands are warm all the time. Can you think of a time when your hands are warm? Huh? When you're fooling around. If you're fooling around,
The blood is flowing.
if you're fooling around and you like it, your hands are always warm. What you need to do is you need to learn to kind of fool your body to pretend like you're fooling around. Except you're not, but the blood is flowing. I told you it's about feelings, didn't I? When your hands are cold, not only the patient feels bad, but your fingers don't feel what's under the skin. Your hands need to be soft and warm, and the person who you touch actually needs to like it. I know, maybe, you know what? It is weird. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to find something under the skin, you almost need to feel like you're tickling them, like they're supposed to be enjoying them. I don't even look at it, and I'm feeling what I'm supposed to be feeling, even without a tourniquet. Make sense? Pretend. Let the blood flow to your fingers. It's not about how cold it is outside. It's not about how cold, it's how warm it is inside. So channel positive energy to the patient. They're going to respond to you the same way. If you touch them with a cold, hard finger, they hate your guts. Got it? At 5 o'clock in the morning, have a warm hand. Have a heart. Put on the tourniquet correctly. Take a few moments to do it. Now, after the tourniquet will come the next piece of exercise, and that's feeling for a vein. The veins will puff up because we restricted the flow of blood, and the vein is going to swell up like a hose. You stepped in a hose with running water, the hose goes. That's exactly what you have over there. You have a little hose underneath. Now, apply the tourniquet, right on top, left on the bottom, left on top, right on the bottom, crisscross applesauce, pinch, lift, tuck under, put down, good to go. Okay? Nice. Very good. Huh?
Nice and clear.
Nice, very good. Now, I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to start feeling. And I'm going to be feeling for these rubber thingies, rubber hoses under the skin. And notice I'm doing it with my eyes closed. I'm not doing it with my eyes open. Closed. Why? When you have your eyes closed, you actually feel more. Think of a time, if you ever kissed anyone and liked it and meant it, your eyes were closed. If you don't care, your eyes are open. Hey, what's happening here? If you eat a piece of chocolate that you wanted all day, but finally you got it, you take a bite, that's good, right? Eyes are closed. Why? You want to maximize the sensation. So I'm maximizing my sensation by feeling gently where these blood vessels are. And I want to go all the way across. And notice I'm not doing it with one finger. My entire hand is here. I'm stroking him from side to side all the way across. It's kind of ticklish, yeah? Yeah, kind of ticklish, very gentle. Because if you're doing it hard, you're not feeling it. If you're doing it soft and gentle, you are. If you ever stroked anything that you liked, you did it gently, and you did it in such a way you can feel every hair, every bump. Right? When you're looking for a blackhead on your face. Not me. You know what I'm saying? So I found it. And what I want to find, I don't want to find anything on this side. I want to find something from the middle out. Because, and I want you to do it yourself, I'm going to release the tourniquet. The sides pointing out are less sensitive. Anything pointing towards the body is more sensitive. Tickle yourself here, and then tickle yourself here. This is going to be more ticklish. The inside is more delicate and sensitive. Don't poke people with a needle over here unless that's the only big vein you got. Phlebotomy is all about getting the blood. Phlebotomy is not about overcoming challenges. I think I'm going to go for the small one because I'm bored of the big ones. Please, people, don't be a hero. Be a hero to the patient. In and out. Now, this is my... Before I apply the tourniquet, everything on my end here has to be prepared. I have to have everything that we discussed. I have to have it right here. Now, here's that needle that I drew for you. Son of a... Well, the cap fell off. It's okay. No big deal. See? See it? Now, this right over here is rubber. Underneath, there's another needle. And this right over here is our needle. I can do this blind because there's a rough part and there's a smooth part. My fingers need to be on the rough part. Okay? And you hold the needle just like this with these two fingers. Now, I like these needles here because they're actually good for blood drawing. Some new needles that they have out there are self-retracting, they're fat, they look like a bumblebee, and it's very hard to hold them. Plus, they have a button over here that retracts the needle. I don't like them, I use these. So, hold it like this, very delicate with your fingers. Now, how do we assemble? There was my holder. I put this inside. Dum, da-dum, dum. Assembled. And now I'm ready to go. Ready to draw blood. I'm not going to draw blood. He's going to draw blood. I'm just going to show you what I do. Now, these needles, this setup over here is good for you. Because when you puncture somebody's vein, the blood, you can actually see the blood come out in the tube. That's how you know you got it. Okay? So, let's pretend for a second. I'm just going to show you how we do this thing as far as blood drawing. Now, also, of course, we will also use alcohol and we will let it dry. You know what? Before that, I'm gonna do this exactly like I'm not gonna poke you. You're gonna poke me. Now, I apply the tourniquet.
I don't know where to stand.
It's okay, it's okay. The video will be there and you'll do it in the class in just a moment. I found the vein, it's right there. Now, I'm gonna take the alcohol. Now, these alcohol wipes, they come and there's a little line that says tear here. Never tear there. Just rip it in half. Okay? And it comes out right in the middle. Now, pick it up with these two fingers. Put it on the place where you found the vein. And with your thumb pressing down hard, scrub it in the spiral motion from the inside out. Okay? We do a spiral. Okay? We don't do back and forth. Like Daniel-san, wax on, wax off. Remember that Karate Kid thing? No wax on, wax off. It's dirt on, dirt off. Okay? No. We do it in a spiral because alcohol will push the dirt from the middle out. Now, obviously we have to have a pair of gloves. So our gloves are already on. Now, here is my trick for drawing blood. So you always know how to do it and where to go. Now, I'm going to find his vein. And I know his vein is right there.
Okay, so we go over there.
Now watch this. Index finger. Number one finger.
Sorry.
Number one finger. I'm wearing gloves, even though I'm not wearing gloves. I find the vein, and I'm going to keep my finger on that vein. It's on the vein. I know exactly where to go. I'm going to take my needle with the bevel facing up, and I'm going to bring it close to my finger. After that, I'm going to roll my finger up, and I'm going to stretch the skin at the same time. My finger points the way where the vein was. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to go kiss it right in there. That's it. The blood is going to flow. I'm going to pick up my tube, stick it in there. Okay? Press it inwards, and I'm going to collect the blood. As soon as the blood starts going, I'm going to release the tourniquet, let it drop. Take out the tube. Pick up a piece of gauze, clip, stick it there, pull out, and straight in there. For the sake of the environment, I'm going to get rid of this in there first. You won't be doing it. You're going to drop the whole thing in there. So, this is already used. I'm going to throw it out. People, once you draw blood, I want to tell you one thing that people make a mistake all the time. When they go out to their internship, for example. Oh, Steve, today was my first patient. I got the blood the first time, but I made a terrible mistake. I threw out the blood.
Oh my God.
See, people in the class, they get so accustomed to drawing blood and they, blah, 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 and they're throwing the blood out.
Right.
Please don't throw out the blood. Okay? Now, I skipped a few things that Melani's going to go over with you, like patient identification. You're supposed to make sure you have the right person whose blood you're drawing, blah, 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 blah. Okay? All these things are done, and you mark the blood with the right thing. Melanie, do me a favor. Can you give me a pair of gloves, please?
Sure.
Oh, or anybody else. Can anybody else get me a pair of gloves? Over there.
Yeah, over there.
Good. I want to show you something with the gloves. I don't care what size. Medium. Very good. Perfect. Okay, we'll move it. I want to show you something. Now, let's say I was wearing gloves for the sake of argument, right? And I've incurred a certain amount of waste product, garbage product. So I want to show you that degloving and collecting your crapola is also very important. So you have all your garbage that you collect over here. You put it into your left hand, if you're left-handed, if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, you do everything backwards. Now, watch this. I'm going to pinch my hand where I collected the garbage. Pinch it. I pinch it. And I flop it over just like this. And as I'm flopping it, I'm putting it into my right hand. Then, instead of pinching, I'm hooking under the cup. Because this glove is contaminated and my hand is not. So I go under, right? So my dirty glove never touches my skin. And now I have a little garbage pile. Even things like gauze with blood and everything else you can put in a regular garbage can. Okay? A little bit of blood is okay in there. Thank you very much. And then I go and I wash my hands with soap and water. None of that crap inside here. Don't use this, ever. I know they tell you, pump in and pump out of the patient room. Don't pump in, don't pump out. Because all you got in there is alcohol. Alcohol only works after 5 minutes of wet contact. At the most, you got 20 minutes of wet contact. It doesn't kill anything. It's a false sense of security. Only washing hands with soap and water for at least 30 seconds of nice leathering up will relieve you of the germ content on your hands. Okay? We don't want to destroy anything. We just want to remove with soap and water. Now, Fabio, go wash your hands with soap and water. And now you're going to attempt to mutilate my arm. And if you do that,
Should I pause it and record the second one?
you can if you want to.
Okay.
I don't think, yeah, go ahead.